Hello, whisperers. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps more than you know. Now, dim the lights, and let's begin tonight's story. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I guess none of us were. Wasn't like looting a submerged shopping center was on anybody's bucket list. But after the storm swallowed half the city and the power grid went belly up, we all started hearing the same whispers. The Westlake Mall still got stock, still got batteries, still got food. We needed all three. So we waded in, 6 of us. Boots, duffel bags, makeshift poles to test the depth. Ralph was the one who got the door open. It made this hollow clang, like knocking on a drowned coffin. Inside, the light filtering down through shattered skylights made everything look wrong. All greenish blue and shifting, like we were already underwater. The air was heavy with mildew and rotting drywall. Water was everywhere, ankle deep at first, then thigh-high once we passed the food court escalators. Clothing racks drifted like kelp. Mannequins bobbed, pale and faceless. I kept mistaking them for people. Slosh, slosh. Every step echoed off the tiled walls, bouncing between rusted-out storefronts. We split up. Dumb, I know, but time was ticking and we figured faster meant safer. I stuck with Maya and Ralph, stayed near the old sporting goods store. We found shelves still intact, shelves full of vacuum-packed protein bars and cracked cases of bottled water. That was when I heard it, not us. Not the drip-drip of ceiling leaks or the creak of shifting debris. This was heavier, deliberate, like something huge dragging itself through the shallows. Slosh, then again, slosh. Maya froze mid-step. Ralph glanced at me, mouth moving but no sound coming out. We held still, like kids playing dead in a thunderstorm. Then, crack. Something big moved in the shadows beyond the shoe store. A ripple in the water, too wide, too fast. And then, screaming, Lance. It came from down near the Macy's, short, sharp, guttural, cut off like someone slammed a lid on it. By the time we sloshed our way over, there was nothing left, just his flashlight spinning in the water, strobing wildly. No bag, no shoes, just a smear of something red drifting in the current. And bubbles, a lot of them. Where the hell is he? Maya whispered, scanning the dark. Ralph's voice shook. Gone under, fast. I don't know why, but I leaned down with my flashlight and stared into the water. I saw my reflection, only it wasn't me. Its eyes were swollen, lips bloated, teeth, too many. And they weren't mine. They looked human, but borrowed. That's when I realized the reflection wasn't mine at all. It was staring back from deeper down. And then it blinked. I stumbled back, breath shallow, knees knocking together. We weren't alone, not in here, not above the surface, and definitely not below. Somewhere in that water, something was hunting us, and it was patient. There's this awful moment when you realize the exits don't work. It's not like in the movies. No sudden shutter slam, no dramatic lockdown sequence. You just try the door, and it doesn't budge. Ralph put his shoulder into the fire exit and slipped hard, cracked his elbow on the rail. Maya shouted for someone to check the main hall, and Ben radioed back that the front entrance was fully underwater, that the storm must have backed up into the sewers. That was the first time anyone said it out loud. We're stuck. I could feel it then. The mall wasn't just abandoned, it was sinking. The air was humid and tight, like breathing through wet wool. Water sloshed just under my hips now, climbing with each minute. No matter how many staircases we tried to climb, it was like the place was tilting inward. Or worse, like something wanted us to stay. We regrouped in the middle of the food court, half submerged around the old fountain. It wasn't running, obviously, but the colored tiles still glistened beneath the murky water. Fake plants floated past like dead jellyfish. I saw something, I told them. My voice cracked like it hadn't been used in hours. It wasn't Lance screaming, not at first. It was something else. Big. Ben laughed dry and sharp. Big like what? Like a gator? He wasn't laughing when we showed him the blood smear. Ralph was panicking, pacing in circles, knee-deep in water. We just have to wait out the surge. When it drops, we wade out the way we came. But Maya was watching the fountain, not blinking. There's something wrong with the water, she said. No one answered. We didn't have to. Because that's when we saw it. A ripple, slow gliding, cut across the surface near the far end of the court. No splashing, no thrashing, just a smooth wake, like something just beneath, moving fast. It passed under the subway counter, under the old seating area, under us, and then it stopped. The water went still, still enough to see your own reflection again. But this time, everyone saw it, not us staring back. The reflections twisted, bloated heads, flesh sagging like soaked meat, fish-like eyes wide and cloudy, mouths full of mismatched human teeth, some broken, some gold. One set even had braces. Ben gasped and fired. His bullet struck the tile, harmless in the water, but the sound woke it up. It came out of nowhere. An explosion of water behind him like the whole food court coughed. The thing surged up, dragging him back down with it in one violent splash, so fast we only saw a flash of skin and teeth. Maya screamed. Ralph ran. I froze. I think I heard bones cracking beneath the surface. Not just snapping, grinding, wet. Then silence. And bubbles. Always the bubbles. We moved, not fast enough, just far enough. Up the escalator across the broken mezzanine that overlooked the mall like a flooded tomb. From there, you could see everything. Ben's flashlight was still on, flickering, bouncing as something dragged it deeper. "What the hell is it?" I whispered. Maya answered without turning her head. "It's not just in the water, it's part of it." That's when every drain around us started gurgling. The water rose another inch in under a minute. The weight of it made the building groan. And from the shadows beneath the plastic playground, 2 glowing orbs surfaced. Fish eyes, milky white, fixed on us. It didn't blink, just waited. I realized then it wasn't hunting like a predator. It was guarding something. This wasn't just a flooded mall. It was a grave, and we'd cracked the lid. We made for the upper food court like rats swimming through a sinking house. One stairwell still had handrails above the waterline, so we climbed, wet hands slipping, knees burning. Every floor below us was drowned now. The water followed, creeping higher with every passing minute, like it knew we had nowhere left to go. Maya whispered behind me, "It's her, the thing. She wants us down there." I didn't ask what she meant by her. I didn't want to know how she knew. By the time we reached the top level, our gear was waterlogged, phones useless. I ditched my jacket. It smelled like mildew and metal. The food court looked worse up close. Collapsed ceiling tiles, overturned tables, dried soda stains mixed with mold. A vending machine had burst, spilling candy bars and swollen chip bags across the floor. It should have felt like a safe zone, but everything was dripping, still damp, still wrong. The only working lights blinked from the ceiling like dying stars. Somewhere down below, in the drowned darkness, I swore I heard humming, not mechanical, not human. It was low, gurgling, rhythmic. "She's singing," Maya whispered, "for the others." "The others?" Ralph asked, almost laughing. That's when the building shook, not from wind, from below. "She's moving again," I said, looking around. "We need to drain this place." We split up, desperate now. Ralph found a fire alarm panel near the ruined smoothie stand. It was rusted, but he pried it open with a crowbar. Water dripped out. It wasn't supposed to, but none of this was supposed to happen. "Drain it," I said. "Set off everything. Sound the alarms." Ralph nodded once and yanked the handle. Red lights flashed. Alarms screamed. Somewhere deep in the building's bowels, we heard massive valves grind open. You could feel the suction as floodwater rushed downward, swirling into the system like it was being fed into a starving mouth. But we'd forgotten one thing. Now there was no water to slow her down. It came fast, a blur of bloated flesh and tendons, crawling and slapping across the tile. Its body was rot-swollen, sloughing skin like old paper. Its limbs, too long, too soft, spilled across the floor as it hauled itself forward. Maya screamed and slipped. I grabbed her and ran. Ralph stood frozen by the alarm panel. "Move!" I screamed. The thing screeched. It didn't sound wet anymore. It sounded angry. The kind of anger that doesn't fade, that remembers. It leapt, crashing through a decorative archway. We bolted toward the fountain. It was mostly drained now, just a few inches of water left swirling at the bottom. But the lights were still wired in, still hot. "Maya," I shouted, "your taser." She blinked, then threw it. I caught it mid-run, turned, and jumped into the fountain. The thing followed. Its mouth opened mid-leap. Too many teeth, set in jaws that didn't match. Some baby teeth, some cracked molars. It was like a whole town's worth of smiles had been stitched into one. I jabbed the taser into the water, crackling blue, Screams, thrashing limbs. It flailed, convulsed. Smoke hissed from its pores as it spasmed, split, and sank. Water turned brown, then black, and then still. We climbed out. None of us spoke as we limped through a broken skylight exit that led onto the roof. The rain had stopped. For the first time in days, I saw the sun. It didn't feel real. We sat on the concrete, trying to breathe, to think, and that's when we saw them. All across downtown, storm drains were bubbling, manhole covers rattling like kettle lids. The streets glistened with something thick, something moving. Figures began rising, one by one, all bloated, all smiling, and all looking straight at us.